Welcome, everyone, to episode 17 of the Brewhouse podcast, a podcast between two brothers where we talk about gaming, tech, entertainment, and everything in between. If you're listening on Spotify, Google Play, anywhere else on any other podcast service, we do stream one of these episodes during the Game of Thrones season. We will be streaming usually every Monday night, the day after the episode premieres, and then we'll be posting to YouTube and all the other platforms the Tuesday after the premiere. This week we're doing it we're live streaming it on Tuesday. Jonathan was at the beach, and I'm extremely jealous he got to go to the beach. But did you have a good trip?
Oh yeah, it was fun. It was a little cold still, but it was
the water cold?
Well deserved. Oh yeah, freezing.
I'm sure.
But no, the sun was out. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, but it was great.
Nice. So today, obviously, you guys probably know we're going to be reviewing and recapping episode 2 of season 8 of Game of Thrones. This was kind of a quieter. I don't want to say quiet because like each episode is unique in its own way this season, or I feel like it's going to be unique in its own way. This kind of led off of what they started in episode 1, and it tied up a lot of storylines a lot earlier than I expected them to. We'll get to what I'm talking about later, but what'd you think of the episode? I mean, I thought it was good. It was a lot of story and a lot of talking.
It was good. I had a feeling going through that this was going to be like the last, I guess, slow episode. Yeah. And I mean, using my rating scale that Megan and I came up with, it only had 3 warnings whenever it showed up. So I was like, oh, it's going to be a a plot centric. So they're going to tie up some more storylines and do some more background and just pretty much building up anticipation to the battle next week, which we know is going to be crazy.
Yeah. So is that the rating where like however much stuff pops up on the pre-screen is
how
like
so
if it has like 7 things like nudity, violence,
if it has everything. So I think 6 is the max.
Something like that.
Yeah. So if it's that one, it's like, oh, strap in.
Yeah.
But I mean, this week it was like language, nudity, and a little bit of violence. So I mean, that's going to be every Game of Thrones episode. So I knew that was going to be background centric.
Yeah. So overall, it was tying in and kind of not necessarily wrapping up, but kind of, I guess, wrapping up some storylines that needed to be done, and they could have been done before or after the big fight at Winterfell. But I guess they decided to do it earlier.
After, depending on if those people are still alive.
Yeah, exactly. So that's our non-spoilery part. It's not long, but now we're going to get into the details of the episode. So it picks up pretty much exactly where episode 1 left off, which is good. Everybody's standing in the Great Hall. Jaime is, for all intents and purposes, on trial. I mean, Daenerys is trying to decide pretty much what to do with him, if she should trust him or not. And she's not necessarily pissed. Jesus Christ. She's not necessarily pissed at him. Well, she is pissed at him, but she's pissed at Cersei and kind of taking out her anger on him.
Well,
I'm gonna let you talk while I mute for a bit.
Yeah, she said that once they got the man who killed her father, she used to dream about what they would do, how they would torture him, and how they would take out the anger on him. So it's, I could see how she's upset at Cersei, but also she's just mad at him in general because, she knows her dad wasn't really a right guy, but at the end of the day, it's still her dad. So he stabbed him in the back while he was captain of the Kingsguard at the time.
And slit his throat.
And then he watched his blood like pour out on the throne and everything like that. But he thought he was right in doing that. At the end of the day, he probably was right in doing that.
Oh, he definitely was.
But I think she's just mad in general that, the man that killed her father is finally standing in front of her and she can do whatever she wants to him, or so she thinks.
So Tyrion, of course, Tyrion tries to defend him, and Dany's like, why would I listen to you? You've been pretty much ever since I made you Hand of the Queen, you've been messing up. You trusted your sister when you should have known that this would happen.
Yep.
So then Brienne gets up and pretty much says, I trust him with my life all this stuff, and Sansa is ultimately the one that convinces Daenerys to allow Jaime to join up with them, because Brienne is like, Sansa says she trusts Brienne more than anyone.
Yes,
because Brienne has done, she saved Sansa's life multiple times, and pretty much carrying over that loyalty from when Brienne first joined up with Catelyn, and I think it was like season 2. When they joined up, she was like utterly devoted to her, and I guess Sansa's kind of reprised the role that Catelyn once had for Brienne. So I thought that was a pretty cool moment. Definitely shows the strong relationship between Jaime and Brienne, that Brienne would still defend him.
And then she got outvoted. I mean,
yeah, she did.
She got outvoted. Sansa is like, no, I trust her, so yeah, he can fight for us. And then she looks to Jon, who she thought was going to side with him, and he goes, no, I agree. We need every hand we can get.
Yeah.
So that's when she's like, fine, whatever.
All right, so moving on. There was just a lot of talking, really. Let's just get to the meaty part of the episode. Arya and Gendry. So Arya goes back to the forge and is like, where's my weapon or whatever. This happens immediately, like right after the Great Hall scene. So, where's my weapon? Have you made it yet? And he's like, no, I haven't. And she pretty much like shows how she's changed. It's the scene from the original trailer for the season where she pulls up a dragon glass like spear tip.
Yeah.
And says like, I've seen death or many times or something. I've seen the face of death many times. I look forward to seeing this one. But they added in, she like throws 3 of the spears and it makes like it's like a perfect triangle almost on one of the wooden posts. And Gendry then kind of realizes like, okay, like Arya knows what she's doing.
Yeah, because at first he was saying, I have a lot of weapons to make. And he's like, I got a lot of other things to do too. Why should I just make yours? And then she pretty much showed why she needs to have her weapon more so than everybody else.
So after that, there was scenes. We had not all the secondary characters, but a lot of the secondary and some main characters in the Great Hall, kind of having one last get together.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was good. I was happy they had it. There was a lot of funny moments. I mean, there's some characters, who did I think of? Jorah wasn't there because probably he can't leave Daenerys' side. And then what's the chick that's with Dany from the beginning? I can't remember her name.
Missandei and Grey Worm weren't there.
Grey Worm, but their storyline no one cares about.
Yeah, which Grey Worm shot up the list. He was already high on my death predictions, but it's like guaranteed now.
They've shown too much of them for no reason.
I think Missandei might die too. I don't know how, because she would be in the crypts more than likely, but I think she might die too, because they showed they wouldn't have spent that much time on them with how much story they have to get out of the way. They wouldn't have spent that much time if they weren't leading up to one.
This was the shortest episode, huh?
I think this and episode 1 were the same length, actually.
Yeah, I think there was like maybe a minute difference.
Yeah, it was like 55, 56 minutes of screen time, not including credits at the end.
Right.
Yeah. So the scene when they were in the Great Hall or wherever, at the fireplace was just hilarious, because like pretty much Brienne's like, no, like we can't be drinking, we have to prepare. And Podrick's like, oh, just half a glass of wine. And he walks up and Tyrion like overflows his cup, and they kind of look at each other, and it was just a funny moment.
Yeah.
So we're kind of going out of order here. I said I was going to take notes, but I didn't, so I just kind of have it up on my screen.
There was a lot of little things that happened. Like, I mean, obviously Tormund coming in and saying, he brought his own drink.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
And then the whole thing where he tells a story about he killed a giant when he was 10 years old, and then his wife found him in the bed for 3 years or 3 months.
I think it was 3 months. I don't know.
3 months. Yeah. And he just stands up and just chugs the rest of his drink and just like spills all over him.
Yeah. So this was also the scene where Jaime knights Brienne, which made her shoot up to the top of my death.
Oh yeah, I
too.
mean she got everything she wanted, and yeah,
her character line is for the most part done. Besides the fight, like she's done everything that her character was supposed to do. There's the theory that Jamie, is gonna die in the arms of the woman he loves. Some could argue that he metaphorically did die in her arms in the baths when he told her about the day that he killed Eris. He like fell over, and then from that point on, he, for the most part, was a good character. Like he was a good guy.
Right.
After that, like he kept his vow to Kat to rescue the daughters. He kind of realized that's like he would stand up to Cersei more instead of just like keel over and let her do whatever she wanted. I mean, she still did whatever she wanted, but he could kind of argue back at her.
Yeah, that was another thing that Tyrion and Jaime had a conversation before this, that Jaime said, I never knew what she was doing, and Tyrion was like, yes, you did.
Yeah, you know exactly what she was doing.
You know what she was doing, but you didn't care.
Yeah. And then there was also a line during that scene that I think will come into play next episode. Tyrion said, I made like a fool's mistake and underestimated my enemy or something. And I think Bran is making that same mistake, because I don't think like the Night King's a smart character. We don't know who he is, but he obviously has like some kind of battle experience or something. And I don't think the Night King would fall for that trap to go after Bran and the gods would. So I think that might come into play, because to me, anything they mention and like, I don't know, to me, anything that's included will come into play later. That's just how I
think.
feel.
I mean, it's true. The Night King's going to seek him out because the Night King wants to destroy him. Everybody else is gonna, like all the other undeads are gonna leave Bran alone because they know the Night King wants him.
Yeah.
So I mean, it makes sense in that way. I'm wondering. Now, I think it is going to happen, and I was having a talk last night with Megan. I think Hodor is going to like break through the wall, and
probably.
And it's, if he shows a response, and like emotional response, it's like, no, why do that? You're going to ruin his character. I mean, he's supposed to have no emotion. He's not really human anymore. He's something else. Which last episode, no one knows his power, what it is. And the show writers kind of just played into that, saying when Sam was like, and then Bran has whatever he has. Yeah. Like and I like how he threw Gilly under the bus there, saying that he found the scripture reading when it was Gilly
instead of her. Another thing about Gilly, we finally saw her this episode. Was when Davos was like, he was feeding all the quote unquote soldiers, and they were like, we're not soldiers, like we don't know what to do. He's like, well, you're soldiers now, like you don't really have a choice.
Saw the little girl.
Yeah, you saw the little girl. It looked like she just had like burn marks on her face. It didn't look like grayscale.
It almost looks biggest disappointment in the entire episode, how they showed Ghost.
Yes, that was very
just on the bannerman and be like, oh, there's Ghost.
That was very disappointing. I mean,
nothing.
And yeah, that was disappointing. But going back to Bran, it's like I said, they only have limited time, so they can't really have scenes dedicated.
They need to explain that. They need to explain what his power is and what's the point of it. And
well, no, that's what I'm saying. They don't have time to explain that to the other characters, so it's kind of understood that happens off screen. Like there's a few things. There's a few
need
things
to explain to us what he has.
Well, he pretty much can see anything that's happened, and he has a little bit of green sight, which means he can potentially see the future. So he sees events that happen in the future, but they're not 100% going to happen, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The books go into more detail, but
he doesn't know what's going to happen. He's just putting people in positions where they need to be by telling, keep a Jaime alive rather than, behind bars or dead.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. It says, Jaime's like, well, what are you going to do after? And he goes, who says there is going to be an after?
Yeah. So Bran he can see potentially the future, but it's not guaranteed. So they don't really mention that, but it's understood that the Three-Eyed Raven had that power, so he has that power. And like I'm saying, they don't have all this time to dedicate to him. Every time they talk about his powers, he can't, explain so on and so forth. He kind of he brings it up in the war room meeting where they're trying to decide what to do, and he says, "I should be the babe." Yeah. He's like, I'm the history of men. So, you know, they might pull a whole Lord of the Rings where Sam is like writes a book about everything that's happened at the end.
Sam or Tyrion, yeah.
Yeah, or both of them maybe, who knows. It might not be exactly like Lord of the Rings where it's happening as he's writing it. He might like the series might end like them sitting down and starting to write about it, and then the series end. Who knows?
What do you think if the Night King needs somebody to replace him to restart the cycle?
I think the cycle's going to end.
Okay.
Whatever. Like the wall's going to come down, all of it.
And for good. It's going to stay down.
Cuz a little side whatever. The wall originally was just rocks. It wasn't all the ice. It was rocks bound with magic. The Night King caused the ice to form on top of the rocks. So that's why the wall is literally majority looks all ice. There's actually rocks at the base that stop the Night King's like pretty much, I guess, winter force power, whatever, from going past it, and that's why the wall looks like it does. So a little side note on that. But yeah, I don't know what they might go back to that where, you know, don't underestimate your enemy thing, where the Night King might not show up when we expect him to. Some people are thinking he like might not even show up at all, which I think he will, but there's some people saying, oh, he's flying to King's Landing right now to go kill everyone there.
No.
Which I don't think.
So what do you think of the aspect that Daenerys does not have control of Rhaegal anymore? Rhaegal,
you think like Jon does?
Well, based in the history and the lore of this universe, each dragon can only have one rider, and they're bound to that rider.
Mm-hmm.
So Jon is his rider now, and if they end up splitting after this, I mean, the dragon's going to go with him.
Yeah,
just by bond alone.
Well, I think he would be riding. I think he would be riding Rhaegal regardless.
Yeah. Well, he would be riding.
You mean after the battle?
Yeah. So after the battle.
I don't think Rhaegal will be alive after the battle.
Say he is. He is, and you know, Daenerys doesn't want. Jon wants to, you know, join forces and, you know, take the throne together. Daenerys is being stubborn and doesn't want to, so she ends up, you know, I'm high and mighty, so I'm gonna take on everybody to get the throne. Mm-hmm. Well, she has one less dragon at that point. Yeah,
that will be something to think about. But I think one of the dragons is gonna die during this fight. I don't think they would kill both of them. They might, but I don't think they would. Because who knows?
That would be interesting.
Dragon get pregnant?
No, but I mean, aren't there other dragons underneath dragon eggs underneath Winterfell, or that's
kind of
rumor.
That's rumor that there might be, but yeah, that has to go with like the backstory.
Drogon dies and Rhaegal lives, and you know, it's almost like Jon has more power than Daenerys at that point.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think Jon's gonna be. I don't think Jon's feelings have changed towards leading. I don't think he wants the throne.
No, I think he would be happy, you know, ruling it together with Daenerys.
Either that, or he just wants to stay in the north.
I do want to see Jon on the throne and Tormund in his Kingsguard.
Oh, that'd be badass. That'd be hilarious. No, but I think Jon's major focus on the entire series, or for the entire series, has been the North. So to me, that's the only place he wants to be.
He's one of those people, like, you know, same thing in Harry Potter. Power comes to the people that don't seek it. So Harry gets strong because he doesn't seek the power.
Yeah, exactly.
Jon gets the power because he's not trying to seek it, but he keeps getting all these things, you know, handed to him.
Mm-hmm. So despite the scene at the beginning where Sansa kind of convinces Daenerys, not convinces, but, you know, shows her side, and Daenerys, for the most part, accepts it because she lets Jaime live and join them. They meet again, just them two. It looks like in the library at Winterfell.
I didn't realize that dude's the leader of the Vale army.
Oh yeah, Jan Royce.
Jan Royce, yeah, that's who it was. I was like, who is that at first? And then
he was. You met him like a while back. He's in the lore. He's like a really good fighter.
Littlefinger and The
And
little kid that just drinks
yeah,
the breast milk
Robin.
or whatever.
Robin, yeah.
But
He's a really good fighter.
yeah,
too.
so Robin's still around, but Sansa pretty much is control of the Vale too.
Yeah,
at this point in
yeah,
time.
because they follow her. So,
Mm.
so they're like getting along at first at this scene because Sansa is still under the impression that Daenerys has Jon wrapped around her finger, which she kind of does, and I could understand how she gets that. But then Daenerys is like, "Look, I didn't come to Westeros to defend the North. I came to Westeros to take the Iron Throne, and your brother convinced me to come fight with him. So who do you think is manipulating who?"
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of good. But then Sansa's like, well, the North wants to remain separate from from the throne. What happens
to the North half? Because we fought to leave control of a queen.
Yeah. Because they don't necessarily think Daenerys will be Cersei, but they don't know Daenerys still. I mean, they've known her. They've barely known her. Like, they just met her, so they don't know if they should trust her or not. I think eventually they will. I think Daenerys will earn their trust if she doesn't just go all psycho and evil.
Just keep burning people when they don't respect her and try to force them to respect her.
And then that's when Theon shows up, and I thought that was a really good scene. Theon showing up and saying, "I came to fight. If that's all right with you," like.
I can see them ending up together, Sansa and Theon.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, maybe.
Just
I think Theon might die.
Thing. Yeah, I mean, he's been really lucky. I mean, with as much as happened to him, he's been really lucky of everything that he's gone through. That he's still alive at this point.
Yeah, so
somebody hasn't killed him yet.
I'm still undecided on if he dies. It wouldn't surprise me if he did. And then we get the scene that broke the internet for a day. Arya and Gendry getting together, which
everybody knew was coming.
Yeah, I didn't think it would happen this early.
Oh, I knew it was going to happen this early. It was only going to happen this episode because one of them is going to die after this. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if both of them live, and what if they end up on the throne?
I don't know if they would end up on the throne. It wouldn't surprise me if they end up in the North or at Storm's End, though, because she's a Baratheon, she's a Stark. I think if Gendry lives, they will legitimize his name. Which he'll be Gendry Baratheon. Yeah, so Daenerys could do it, Jon could do it. I'm surprised they haven't already.
Well, Stannis tried to legitimize Jon's name. What, in season 7 or 6?
No, season 5.
Yeah, it was like right after
Stannis was
Jon
dead.
left.
Stannis was dead in season 6 and 7.
Oh yeah, that was 5. Was that when Stannis saw him when he was still at Castle Black?
Yeah, that's when he was Lord Commander.
He tried to.
I was like halfway through season 5.
He said what he would.
He said he would name him Warden of the North.
Warden of the North, and like pretty much get him out of the Night's Watch.
Yeah, like pardon him from the Night's Watch, pretty much.
Yeah, come fight me. I'll legitimize your name to Stark, and fight for me, and you'll be Warden of the North.
Yeah, and then I'll give you the North. So, people are all like, "Oh my God, it's like my little sister." Blah blah blah. The show writers confirmed that she's 18 in the show. The actress is 22.
Yeah.
I mean, with all the stuff that's happened in this show, people choose the weirdest things to get upset about. I mean,
it's stupid.
You've had arranged marriages for Sansa was like 15 when she got married to Tyrion. Nobody really batted an eye at that.
What, 17 when she got raped by Ramsay?
Yeah, like this people choose the weirdest things to get upset over, and I can kind of understand where they're coming from, but on the majority of me is just like, it's a show. Like, it's a show. No. That doesn't mean they can do anything, but it's a show. Out of all the stuff that's happened, you should be prepared for almost anything. Like, as
wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah. Like, here's another thing I want to say. Pretty much, we know a lot of people are going to die next episode, or in the next couple episodes. It's still gonna be shocking though. Like when you see somebody die.
We didn't talk about Jorah getting Heartsbane.
Yeah, that's true.
Which we knew it was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen just from the screenshots and the trailers that they showed. He had Heartsbane in the trailer, which kind of makes sense that Sam couldn't wield it because it's massive and Jorah's just a badass. So
yeah, Jorah's a good fighter. I mean, he took on a Dothraki Blood Rider and 1v1 killed him. Survived north of the wall. Jorah shot up to the top of my death list though.
Yeah,
Because Sam's like, I'll see you when it's over.
I think Brienne's gonna die. Grey Worm's gonna die.
The three people that shot up my list were Brienne, Grey Worm, and Jorah. If Jorah lives, I could see him becoming. Well, no, they wouldn't need it. I was gonna say I could see him becoming Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, but
No.
they won't have a Night's Watch anymore because the wall won't
Yeah,
be there.
there's no point. The wall's gone.
So I thought that was a pretty cool scene. Now, Sam and Jorah have kind of always had this unsaid bond after Sam saved him from Grayscale.
Yeah,
And-
considering the other Macers could have, but they chose not to.
And Sam brings up Jorah's father, Gior, and he's like, your dad taught me how to be a man. He was one of the best men I ever knew. And I can't use the sword, but I feel like you should have it.
Oh, and Jorah had a conversation with Lyanna Mormont.
Oh, yeah, like pretty much telling her she needs to be in the crypts and not on the battlefield. And I don't know if they would kill off her, but at this point, dude, at this point, in my opinion, nobody is safe.
No, nobody's safe. I think, well, besides Cersei and the people down below, the Hound's not going to die.
Yeah, because the Hound has to fight the Mountain.
Barrack's going to die.
Yeah, Barrack will die. That's like guaranteed.
I
Do you think? Okay, here's another question. No, we'll get to that after. We'll get to that later. There was also a scene between Brienne and Jaime where Jaime's like kind of shocked Brienne and was like, "I want to fight under you. Like, I want to fight under your command. I'm not the soldier I once was, but I still know how to fight." Which I didn't think Jaime was going to be on the field, and I was kind of surprised by that.
I think he was gonna. Yeah, I had a feeling he was gonna be on the field or like be on the battlements or something like that.
See, I thought he was going to be on the battlements, like giving orders, but that apparently it's going to be Davos.
Davos knows how to do that, and then you're gonna have the different people leading the different groups.
Yeah, so I think there's three groups, right? Brienne is on the left flank.
Yep.
Grey Worm's in the middle, and then I think Jorah is leading the right flank.
Yeah.
So they're kind of doing like not necessarily a pincer where they want to try and surround the army, but kind of have three main fronts that they're leading from.
Right, and then Theon's going to be in the Godswood protecting Bran and with his guys.
Yeah. So
and then we're still not sure where Dany and Jon are going to be.
Well, in the trailer, they're like on a side cliff overlooking the battlefield.
Well, they're probably waiting for the Night King to come out and try to get the jump on them.
I think Daenerys will be like over the main battlefield, and Jon, they're setting up Jon with like a small group to when the Night King, if the Night King does go to the Godswood, they'll have Jon
to go after
and his group to go after him, to fight him. We're probably missing some stuff. I'm looking through this. Is there anything else you can think of before we kind of get to the end? And
Podrick, the guy that played Podrick wrote the song that was sang at the end.
He wrote it?
Yeah, I think so. I think they said that the guys, the Double D brothers, they said was
that song
was
comes from the
piece.
lore too.
I think it was like original piece where I want to say it was inspired from the lore, but it was an original song.
Because that had something to do with the Brotherhood of Banners, and one of the soldiers would get information from a girl named Jenny, and that's why it's called Jenny's Song. And she in payment for the information, the guy would sing that song to her, so on and so forth. That was a really good scene, how they were panning to all the different characters. And
yeah, we saw Ed come back with the Night's Watch and all
which
that, so they were reunited.
And Tormund tackle Jon.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's where Ghost was with the Night's Watch.
Probably. Ed'll probably die. He's kind of a secondary character.
Sam's gonna stay alive.
Tormund will probably die. But okay, we have to think of this on the other end. Like, we're all under the assumption that they're just gonna kill everyone. I mean, there's characters that we think will die that could also survive. I mean, a lot of this is just speculation and I'm going off what's happening, not just this season, but the entire show. So for me, Brienne, her character story, her character arc is done.
Oh yeah, no, she's done. Tormund, I think he still goes. I mean, he's not a big enough character that he has something left to do.
But people love him though.
I think that's it. I think his character is just so likable that they're going to keep him around just for that comedic relief.
Yeah, he had a lot of comedic relief this episode too. kind of lightened up the mood.
What? It's 2 episodes in a row they made short jokes at Kit Harington.
Yeah, that was when Sansa and Dany were talking about. She said she's only ever loved 2 men, and
who's the other one?
someone taller or something like that. She was talking about Khal Drogo.
And then
thought that was funny too.
Arya said last episode, it's like, used to be taller.
Yeah,
that was another jab at him.
So I want to know what you think of this. Okay. There's people that think Melisandre is going to show up in a Knights of the Vale moment with like a bunch of red priests and priestesses, and with like an army of whoever their followers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's a possibility?
Yeah, I think so. I don't see why not. She has to come back at some point. Mm-hmm. That, or she's going to come back, do that whenever they go fight Cersei.
Yeah, she might. Because they confirmed in this episode that the Golden Company is strong enough to take out whoever will be left. Because they're pretty much assuming that, at this point, they're assuming they're going to lose. Like, that's kind of everybody's mood in this episode. Or that's kind of the feeling you get, that they're going to lose this fight. It's kind of a somber mood in the Great Hall. A couple people bring lightness to it. Tyrion kind of does, mostly Tormund. But I don't know about you. I've gotten the sense that they all feel like they're going to lose.
Yeah, I mean,
Arya says this might be our last night. This might be my last night before they get it on. Like,
very, very possible that they all lose. It's just they know it. A lot of them know what's coming, and just the size of it, the sheer size of it, and they only have so much dragon glass. And
and you have to remember, majority of these people have not seen the Army of the Dead.
Correct. So they're going to be freaked out right off the bat.
There's a very small percent of people that have seen what they're going up against.
You caught that part where they dug a trench and they're going to light the trench around Winterfell.
Yeah, which won't work against the White Walkers.
No, but it'll work against the
Whites.
The Whites. Yeah. And in front was White Walkers, like straight.
Yeah, I couldn't tell like how many there was. It looked like there was a shit ton. Which
it looked like.
I thought there was only like 12, including the Night King. Like 12. Well, no, it might have been 13. Because
what about the ones that died?
Yeah, well, I'm saying them minus the ones that died. Because when you first see the Night King, is when a White Walker brought a baby from Craster, like up way north. Yeah, and in the background you saw, I think it was 12 of them, but they could have just not been showing all of them.
Could be that already made more. I don't know.
So
no one really knows
we have a question in the chat. So are the crypts really safe though? There's people speculating that, but you have to remember they're buried in concrete and cement. So I'm not sure if bones would be strong enough to break through that. It's a possibility though.
People also think that there's a dragon sleeping under Winterfell too.
Yeah. That's one of a huge fan theory. I don't think that's actually happening. It'd be badass if there was, but
keeps the forges lit.
Yeah, it'd be badass if there was. So, we've talked about, like I said, we've mostly been speculating for next episode. I don't want to say this episode wasn't bad by any means.
No, it's going to be the lowest one of this season.
It was a slower one. There was all the hype around episode 1. People didn't know if the battle was going to start this episode. I pretty much called that it wasn't.
No, yeah, I knew it wasn't going to.
I'm pretty sure we said last episode that this is exactly how it was going to end.
Yeah, they were either going to show up and be on the doorstep, or they would be like running to attack, and then it'd cut the black.
You guys know it's just a show, LOL. Yeah, it's just the biggest show on the planet, dude. Nobody ever talks about it and speculates. Yeah,
right now it is
ever, in my opinion.
But
I'm gonna ban that guy.
I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah. To me, they're probably just gonna throw a curveball that nobody predicted. If we've learned anything from this show, something will happen that nobody thought of.
Do you think that's gonna the third shocker that we have yet to see is gonna happen in this episode?
I don't know.
Yeah, at the end, Daenerys turns and Drogon bites Jon and kills him at the end of this episode after they killed the Night King.
You literally never know with this show.
Yeah, that could be it, but
Yeah, because if you guys don't know what we're talking about, George R.R. Martin said there would be 3 huge, like, what the fuck moments. The first one was Shireen being burnt. These are all confirmed by him. First was Shireen being burnt at the stake. The second was Hodor dying.
Or how he died.
How he died, yeah. And how, yeah. His backstory, pretty much. Yeah. The third one, who knows what it'll be. But you have anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up?
We just got to get through in-game to get to this, so.
Oh my god, dude. This weekend's going to kill us. We're going to see Endgame Thursday night, and we're going to see it again Saturday, and then we'll do a review of that, so that'll be posted Saturday.
Yeah.
We'll be doing like a, kind of like we did for this, a spoiler-free intro. Just kind of going over our thoughts, so on and so forth. And then we have this on Sunday night. And next episode is 88 minutes long, I think.
The longest battle scene ever on TV.
I think the entire episode is the fight.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to be like Battle of Blackwater, where the entire episode was the fight.
Yeah, it took like 55 nights or something to film this, because it's all shot at night.
I thought Tormund said like before the sun comes up, so I thought like the sun. I thought the sun was like coming up, and it was going to be.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It took, like they said, it took 55 nights, so part of it might happen, and then the sun might rise and say
at the end of the battle. Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, guys, this is going to end our episode 2 recap of season 8. We hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to follow and like on whatever platform you're listening to. Like I said, just a recap on what we will be doing. Next episode will be our Avengers Endgame review. That'll be posted on Saturday. And then we will be streaming this episode 3 recap next Monday, probably around 8:30 Central. Twitch.tv/Brewski if you guys want to watch it live. And then that episode will be posted on Tuesday. So guys, like I said, if you enjoyed what you saw, if you found our videos interesting, we kind of dive into some of the backstories. Be sure you follow, like on whatever platform. And as always, guys, thanks for watching, and
keep gaming.
Keep gaming. We'll see y'all later. Peace.